World Speedway's elite looked radiant and ready for action as they lined up in the Prague sunshine. But which one of these prized specimens will blossom in 2009? Miki Pedersen has been the best on show for the past 2 seasons. His supremacy as the sport's numero uno took him to his 3rd world crown in 2008. With blistering fast gating and awe-inspiring riding, Mr. Consistent made 9 out of 11 finals and reached a podium 5 times.
Here we are again. We're all standing with 0 points. We're in for a new one. I'm going to do my same plan as always. You know, this is the first one, so we want to kick it off as good as possible. I feel good. You know, the equipment is not major different compared to last year. I didn't need to go out and find new power here or there. I know what I want. I got the crew behind me, the same team. So that's settled and that's working good. League meeting is league meeting and Grand Prix is Grand Prix. So I think everybody here, you know, is very tense, you know, for the first one to kick off as good as possible.
Miki has won the last 2 Czech Grand Prix here at the Markéta Stadium, so maybe his stress is from elsewhere. He and fiancée Anne Mette have recently become proud parents of a baby girl called Michelini.
It's been very good. I think I've been lucky. I got enough sleeping time. She's sleeping during the night, so I'm very lucky. Obviously, Mette takes the hard part at the moment, so I can concentrate about my racing, but it's very good fun. I'm enjoying it.
Also reaching high will be Tomáš Golub. The Pole collected a bronze medal last year, as well as 3 Grand Prix victories and a large paycheck for winning the Super Prix final in his hometown Bydgoszcz. Greg Hancock was also a winner at the Polish track, stunning Mr. G's fans by winning the Polish Grand Prix there. The evergreen American has joined the SGP Tour for yet another season. Denmark's Hans Andersen is another rider who can turn on the style and win Grand Prix, and so too is Lee Adams, who picked up a pair in 2008. Both know that consistency is the key to sustaining a World Championship challenge.
I feel good, you know, and I think as I did last year, and you know, I maintain the fact that every day I wake up, I believe that I can be the world champ. So until that day comes that I believe that I can't, then I'm going to keep going.
It's not just the established stars that are hoping for big things. Kenneth Pierre is now a fully fledged member of the GP Series after a number of appearances as a wild card. Greg Valacek and Sebastian Ulemek are also qualifiers who make a return after a 7-year absence. Also joining the Speedway revolution is the first Russian ever to feature at Grand Prix level. World Under-21 champion Emil Sayfutdinov is the talk of the sport at the tender age of 19. He's got the world at his feet. There's no better place for the tapes to rise on a new chapter of World Championship Speedway than the beautiful city of Prague, capital of the Czech Republic. With wonderful sightseeing, magnificent architecture and a bohemian atmosphere, it's a magnet for tourists and Speedway fans alike. 11 rounds of the FIM World Speedway Championship, the Big 3, the Super Prix venues, the Ullevi in Gothenburg, Park in Copenhagen, the Millennium in Cardiff, and a new venue to look forward to, Terenzano in Italy. But that's not the only change to the new series.
We changed the Super Prix. There'll be no final at the end of the season. It'll just be the 3 Super Prix in Gothenburg, Copenhagen and Cardiff. And the winner of all 3 of those events will double their prize money. In addition to that, we've launched Friday's Draw that we saw this morning. That's live on the new website, speedwaygp.com. And that gives the press something to report and analyse in Saturday morning's papers. And also Friday evening's local news, and that's been well received here.
In the first Friday lottery draw of the 2009 season, 4 gate positions, Kenneth Pierre got number 9, which is favoured by most of the riders. And that means, as you can see, that he gets 2 inside gates in his last 2 rides, the business end of the meeting, and he's inside 2 world champions, Miki Pedersen in Heat 16 and Greg Hancock in Heat 18. So it was eyes down looking in for the start of another mouth-watering year of World Championship Speedway. And top of the bill, defending world champion Miki Pedersen was out in the first race. And true to form, he made the start from the outside gate to hit the front ahead of Tomáš Golub and Lee Adams. Job done. Back to the pits to let out all that pre-season tension. Heat 2 was hard at the start. Greg Hancock was looking for brand new bike, brand new engine, and it blew on the line. Freddie Lindgren took the 3 points ahead of fellow countryman Andreas Jonsson, so it was all smiles for the Swedes. But the grin had lost his smile. Surely it could only get better. It was Jason Crump's turn to start from the profitable outside gate in Heat 3. The Australian cut across Kenneth Pierre, but was then closely followed by the young Russian Emil Sayfutdinov. Jason thought it was all over, but the teenager ignored reputations and took no prisoners with a couple of swipes at the double world champion. It was a good start for Jason, and Emil was clearly pumped for the occasion. Heat 4 and true to form, an underpass Scott Nichols, who'd been suffering from a virus, hit the front from the outside gate, but Rune Holter kicked into gear to win the race. Polish flags were flying, but in Heat 5, Tomasz Golub could do nothing from Gate 2, and Kenneth Pierre took the points from the trusted Gate number 4. Andreas Jonsson made it count from 4 in the next one over Hans Andersen and Lee Adams, but the young Russian went from hero to zero on this occasion. 5 points from 2 races, a decent start for the Swede, AJ. Surprise, surprise, it was yellow all the way again in Heat 7. This time, Sebastian Ulemek troubling the scorers for the first time, followed by Greg Hancock, who put some points on the board.
Well, that's more like it from Sebastian Ulemek. 3 points in the bag, once again coming from the outside, but on his return to the Grand Prix, all smiles there.
Clash of the big guns here in Heat number 8. When you look at a Grand Prix lineup, this is what it's all about. Nicky Pedersen, the reigning champion, off the inside in red. Fredrik Lindgren having a great start to the season so far, Gate 2. Jason Crump, twice world champion, off Gate 3 in white. And Gregor Valacek going off the outside in yellow.
Yeah, big racing prospect here. All 3 riders on the inside here won their opening ride. Big heat in prospect.
Heat number 8 it is then. Can Pedersen make the start off the inside? He can, it's a decent one. And Valacek sweeping around the outside, and up the inside now goes Fredrik Lindgren on the Jauer engine. That is a fine move from Lindgren in blue. Now what is Nicky Pedersen made of as he goes wide? Crump is in third, but squeezing Nicky Pedersen hard now. But Lindgren is the leader.
Super first corner there from Freddie Lindgren. Nicky Pedersen chased the rider on the outside. Valacek left the hole there. Lindgren said thank you very much and darted up the inside. Lindgren out front, chased hard by the world champion.
Lindgren with a bright future ahead of him, finished top scorer in Gothenburg last season, didn't win the Grand Prix but was top scorer, has made a great start in league action in England and Poland and is doing well here in the Grand Prix. He's under severe pressure though from Nicky Pedersen in second in the red helmet, Jason Crump is third in white, Gregor Valacek relegated to the back, but look at Pedersen now, he's going to go hard and wide around the outside, down the back straight they go. Lindgren is holding his nerve, Pedersen up the inside.
Fabulous move from Nicky Pedersen there. He was winding out. Can Lindgren respond? No, Pedersen takes it.
Perfect timing from Nicky Pedersen. That's what it's all about when it comes to being world champion. And look what it means to him. Hasn't perhaps had the ideal preparation for the opening GP, but what a ride. Nicky Pedersen, 3 points for him, timed his move to perfection. Fredrik Lindgren pipped at the post in second. Jason Crump was third, a point for the twice world champion, and Gregor Valacek at the back.
Super stuff from Nicky Pedersen, 6 out of 6 so far. A terrific start to the meeting and a terrific ride there to pass Lindgren.
Perfect start for the world champion, laying a marker down, 6 points out of a possible 6. A Swedish duo on 5. Andreas Jonsson and Fredrik Lindgren. Some big names lower down, Tomasz Golub and Jason Crump. Still early days though, of course. Fredrik Lindgren pipped at the post by Nicky Pedersen, but a good start for him.
Yeah, it was close. I made a really good first and second corner, but I could feel him in my back wheel all the way around, and I made a little bit of a mistake, and he was there right away.
I know you were frustrated at times last year in your first season of Grand Prix. Is it easier coming into the second season?
Well, I know more what to expect now, and I'm really looking forward to this season. I hope I can make a big impact and make some good results this year.
Greg Valacek back in the Grand Prix series after a 7-year absence, pulled off a fine ride in Heat number 9. He was up against Andreas Jonsson, who'd made a good start to the GP with 5 points out of 6, and Tomasz Golub, another big name in white. But Valacek was dominant and pulled off a fine victory. Heat number 10 saw Lee Adams in the yellow helmet with Jason Crump, his fellow countryman, in red, but Adams swept around the outside superbly to get the better of the 2-times world champion Jason Crump. Chris Harris of Great Britain was in the blue helmet, working hard to get the better of Rune Holter with a fine pass in that particular race to pick up a precious point. But Adams was the winner of Heat number 10.
Super stuff from Lee Adams there. Had a difficult start to the meeting with 2 third places, but a big win from the outside there. He'll be happy now.
Heat number 11 it is then, and here's the lineup. Lindgren goes off the inside in red. Kenneth Pierre is in blue. Sebastian Ulemek goes off gate 3 in white, and Hans Andersen of Denmark goes off the outside in the yellow helmet. Lindgren off the inside, 5 points so far.
Yeah.
Fancy his chances here again.
Yeah, looking good tonight. Hans Andersen on the outside also being steady so far. No fireworks from the Danes so far, but Lindgren, the form man so far tonight.
Lindgren's still a young rider, of course, with a bright future ahead of him. Makes a decent start off the inside. Andersen looking to swoop around the outside, but there's no drive there for Andersen, who tries to go up the inside this time. Lindgren is holding his line. Andersen second, Pierre is third, but Fredrik Lindgren, for a young man, is showing that he's gaining from experience. What a pass from Pierre in blue. Really battling with Andersen here.
Fantastic move there from Kenneth Pierre. Hans Andersen trying the outside run. Wasn't working, and Kenneth Pierre took full advantage. Out front, Freddie Lindgren, terrific composure from the young Swede. A superb start from the inside, and he's dominating the heat once again.
Yeah, he really is looking smooth and very calm and very comfortable, with Pierre in blue and Andersen in yellow, as Pierre just loses it slightly there, but there's not a lot of encouragement for Hans Andersen to come around the outside there. The lead then is with Fredrik Lindgren. This would maintain his impressive start to the GP year. He really is in fine form. Look at his beautiful riding style there, as Pierre comes hard late on in the race, but Lindgren has done enough. That is a fine ride from fast Freddie Lindgren.
Super stuff from the young Swede there. Once again, a really composed ride from him.
The result then, Lindgren takes the checkered flag, 3 big points for him. Kenneth Pierre was second, a fine ride from Pierre, a hard ride against his fellow countryman Hans Andersen in third, and Seb Ulemek trailing at the back.
Well, 8 points out of 9. What a super start to the Grand Prix series for him, and he's full of confidence, no question about it.
Already looking good to make progress to the latter stages. Heat number 12 it is then. Scott Nichols looking for a big ride off the inside in red. Nicky Pedersen, the reigning champion, off gate 2 in blue. All eyes on Emil Saifutinov, the Russian, at his debut Grand Prix off gate 3 in white. And Greg Hancock, 38 years old, Greg Hancock goes off the outside in yellow against 19-year-old Emil Saifutinov. How we bridge a generation gap in the GP.
We do, and certainly Greg Hancock had a disappointing opening ride. Needs points here.
Scott Nichols almost colliding with Nicky Pedersen on the inside there, but Hancock using all his experience coming around the outside. Saifutinov is at the back. Watch out for Saifutinov, though. He's sure to give it everything here. Nichols is in second place, a Great Britain rider. Nicky Pedersen is third, but the lead is with the vastly experienced Greg Hancock, and Saifutinov comes up the inside of Pedersen here.
Fabulous move there from the young Russian. Greg Hancock made full advantage of gate 4. He heads the pack, but Saifutinov really winding it up. He's all over the back of Nichols, really looking threatening.
Yeah, Nichols knows that he's got a tiger on his tail.
Oh.
And coming round the outside now is Saifutinov. That is sensational, last to second.
Fabulous stuff there from the young Russian. Easy as you like. He just powered round the outside of the Nichols there. And, of course, the world champion now out the back. Superb ride from the young Russian. Greg Hancock, meanwhile, he's got it all under control.
A turn up for the book with Pedersen at the back. Greg Herbie Hancock has the lead. The Californian, who takes the checkered flag with Saifutinov second. Nichols gets a point in third, and Nicky Pedersen will be bitterly disappointed to be relegated to the back in that one. What a race. The result, Greg Hancock the race winner, 3 big points for him. Saifutinov last to second, brilliant ride, 2 points. Scott Nichols gets a point in third, and at the back, Nicky Pedersen.
Well, that is a surprise to see Nicky Pedersen out the back, but Greg Hancock, 5 points out of the last 2 rides. He had an engine failure on the start line in his opening race, really showing great composure and experience.
Here's how the table looks then after 3 rides apiece, and Fredrik Lindgren is the leader now. 8 points for him, Jonsson on 7. The reigning champion, Nicky Pedersen, locked with Jason Kramp and Kenneth Pierre on 6 points. A clutch of riders on 5, Hancock, Adams and Golub. And the teenage sensation, Saifutinov, not far behind. We see the gate stats, it's pretty convincing. Every picture tells a story.
Well, you don't have to be Einstein to work that one out, no. The outside gate, clearly the favourite. Gate 3 there in white. Certainly you don't want that one, but the yellow working brilliantly so far.
Nicky Pedersen, bitterly disappointed, a man of high standards, of course. Can he bounce back in his next outing? The reigning champion. Find out with us next. Welcome back to the FIM Czech Republic Speedway Grand Prix in the Markéta Stadium, Prague. Plenty of support for the Danes. The reigning champion Nicky Pedersen, of course, and Hans Andersen out in this one. And Thomas Golub in the yellow helmet, Jason Crump in blue, Greg Hancock red. Well, that is the lineup. It's an all-star lineup. Hancock off the inside. Crump goes off gate number 2 in the blue helmet colour. Andersen gate 3 in white. Golub off the outside. I wonder if this will be a pointer, Kelvin, as to where the big boys will go this season.
Well, certainly these are the normal suspects, aren't they? And you've got to say that that man there, Freddie Lindgren, is really getting amongst it tonight. But all these boys have had a solid start to the meeting. Not easy out there, but Hancock on the inside. Looked good last time out.
Certainly did, and it's a good start from Crump off gate number 2 in the blue helmet. Golub trying to come around the outside. But Hancock has held his line superbly in red. That was magnificent from Hancock. Crump's going to wind it all on around the outside now. Is there any drive for Jason Crump as Hancock holds the inside line? Wonderful ride from Greg Hancock. Almost had eyes in the back of his head there. Andersen is third, and Golub is at the back.
Fabulous opening lap of Speedway there from Greg Hancock. He didn't make the jump away from the tapes. It was Crump that did that, but he held the inside line and powered to the front. Crump gives good chase in second place. Hans Andersen, though, a little bit disappointing back in third, but Hancock, after that disappointing engine failure in his opening ride, bouncing back.
Greg Hancock in his new team colours of green this year, of course, is making his rivals green with envy with a ride like this. A magnificent line from Hancock. Crump is second, holding that line in the second place. But this man, Greg Hancock, showing all his experience, won the world title 12 years ago now. How he'd love to do it again. Hancock takes a checkered flag from Jason Crump. Andersen third, and Golub at the back, and Greg Hancock very much, well and truly, back on track now. The results of Heat 13. Greg Hancock the winner. Second place, 2 points then for Jason Crump. Third place there went to Hans Andersen. Not the best of nights for him so far. And Thomas Golub, no points, finishing last in that one.
Super stuff from Greg Hancock. Back-to-back wins, 8 points out of the first 4 rides. We see it again here away from the tapes. It's Jason Crump that makes the better jump, but you've got to say the skill and the patience and composure around the inside from Greg Hancock, superb. Crump really winds it on down the back straight on the opening lap. It looks for a moment he might find a little bit of extra grip and hit the front. But Greg Hancock, you know, there's no substitute for experience. Here he really does show it all, and he hangs on for a vital win. And you've got to say the 8 points really puts him in the mix tonight.
Yeah, superb ride from Greg Hancock, and one of the sport's nice guys, isn't he? He really is. Always has a smile on his face. Hans Andersen, though, not going his way tonight. He's got plenty of work to do to try and squeeze through late on towards the semi-finals, but Hancock looking good. Level with Lindgren and Crump now on 8 points apiece, but Lindgren's got a race in hand, of course. Jonsson is on 7. Nicky Pedersen on 6 points. Big ride next time out. Fredrik Lindgren continued his good start to the meeting with a handy ride next time out, but Lee Adams was the star of the show in this one, showing all his experience. He romped to victory to put him in contention for a semi-final place with his smooth style, but Lindgren's second place still did nicely for the young Swedish star. Adams a happy man after that one, quite rightly so, his second successive victory. Lindgren the leader then, with that second place on 10 points. Hancock, Adams and Crump on 8. Jonsson on 7. The reigning champion Pedersen on 6 with Bier. Golub and Andersen on 5. What about Saifutdinov though? Well, what can happen in this one? Big race coming up. A qualifier, Sebastian Ulemek with a pick, Chris Harris. In fact, 2 qualifiers and 2 picks for the Grand Prix Series. Valacek off the inside, he's a qualifier. Gate 2, Ulemek, another qualifier. Saifutdinov, a wild card pick with Chris Harris off the outside, also a pick. An interesting lineup here.
Very much so, and with Saifutdinov coming off gate 3, that hasn't been favourable tonight. I don't think anybody's won from there so far. He's had a couple of second places. What can he do here in Heat 15?
Yeah, big race, bit of movement at the start there. The referee appears to have allowed them to get on with the race. And what a ride from gate 3 from Saifutdinov. Where on earth did he find that from? Valacek is second. Coming hard around the outside now is Chris Harris. And at the lead, is with Emil Sayfutdinov, the 19-year-old Russian, a dream debut in the GP.
Well, what about that for a first corner? Really didn't take any prisoners at all. Balasek back into second place. Harris and Balasek really going at it for the 2 points. But Sayfutdinov, look at the speed. They must have made changes to his equipment. He's really hooking up. He's just riding out there for fun.
Well, I'm sure there's many experts in Speedway who won't be surprised by Sayfutdinov's debut here, because he has beaten the best riders in the world consistently in Polish Speedway and in the Russian League last year. But here tonight, not many people would have predicted this type of performance. He's not just winning this race, he is winning it comfortably.
Yeah, fabulous stuff from the young Russian. It's going to be Balasek that picks up the 2 points for second place, but the big 3 points for Sayfutdinov.
Wonderful ride from Emil Sayfutdinov. And have we got a story developing here in the Czech Republic tonight, or what? Brilliant stuff from the teenage sensation, Emil Sayfutdinov. Confirmation of the result then. Sayfutdinov, the race winner. 3 big points for him. Valacek second. Third place went to Chris Harris of Great Britain. And trailing at the back was Sebastian Ulemek of Poland.
Well, the race was all about the first corner, and Sayfutdinov really took advantage of it. He was brilliant here. Watch him coming out of gate 3. Gate 3's been rubbish so far tonight. The bike hooks up brilliantly. He squeezes Balasek. He lets the bike run. And look at the power down the back straight. Harris there also squeezes round the outside of Balasek, showing really good determination. But Sayfutdinov, considering he's only 19, he's his debut in the Grand Prix series. It's absolutely fantastic, giving himself a really good chance of making the top 8 tonight. Sayfutdinov out front. Could this be sensational?
Plenty of confidence with the wheelie as he looked over his shoulder, and he gained speed very quickly there as well. 7 points from 4 rides. So far, so good for him. Here's the table then. Fredrik Lindgren still the leader on 10, with Hancock, Adams and Crump on 8, and Sayfutdinov moves into the top 8 and is in with a real chance of qualifying for the semi-finals. Heat number 16 it is. Pressure building on these riders, with places in the semi-finals up for grabs in the opening Grand Prix of the year. The man in red is Kenneth Bier, and there's the reigning champion, Nicky Pedersen. Across the grid, we look at the riders then. Bier off the inside in red, 6 points so far from him. The Swede Andreas Jonsson in blue off gate 2. Nicky Pedersen goes off gate 3 in white. Going off the outside in yellow. Disappointing night so far for Rune Holter, but Nicky Pedersen, a last place last time out. Yeah. He'll be like a wounded animal here, and there's his pit crew.
The pit crew will want to see a confidence-boosting ride here for sure. They can't afford to run on the last here. Nicky Pedersen had put himself under immense pressure with 1 ride left.
Well, he knows how to handle the pressure, Nicky Pedersen, doesn't he? Hasn't made the best of starts there, though. That has gone to Kenneth Bier off the inside, and Andreas Jonsson in blue has got second. Now, a challenge here for Nicky Pedersen. Dives up the inside. Get out of the way, AJ. NP's coming through, and Jonsson returns the compliment here. Bier has the lead now. Jonsson is second. Nicky Pedersen in third. Would a point do him? Maybe, maybe not. The pressure's on, and Pedersen is losing speed here.
Oh, Rune Holter getting in the mix there. Fabulous opening lap once again. Andreas Jonsson wasn't going to take that line down. Pedersen surged up the inside, ran too wide. Jonsson then replayed the compliment. Jonsson runs wide. That allows Pedersen once again up the inside. Oh, he slams the door shut. Ruthless stuff from the world champion. Meanwhile, Kenneth Bier is completely unaware of what's going on behind him. He's having a great ride out front.
Can't imagine Andreas Jonsson will be too impressed by that move by Nicky Pedersen, but this is FIM Grand Prix Speedway. It's a man's game, and Pedersen has second spot right now. 2 points could be precious here for Pedersen. Bier the leader, let's give him eternal credit. That is a magnificent ride. Remember, he is in the Grand Prix this year as a qualifier, and he's just beaten the world champion. Confirmation of the result then. A fantastic ride from Kenneth Bier. 3 points for him against his fellow countryman Nicky Pedersen. A hard ride over this man, Andreas Jonsson, who picks up a point. And Rune Holter, his miserable night continues with no points there.
Super stuff from Kenneth Bier in the Grand Prix proper this year, having qualified, and this was super stuff. He makes a great start and really doesn't come under too much pressure at all. There was an awful lot of action going on in second place. Nicky Pedersen, you watch him down this back straight, absolutely dive bombs up the inside, and Jonsson really doesn't know what to do. Jonsson then gets back in the action. Look at this. That really is so very brave. He has to put the brakes on slightly just to miss the back of Kenneth Bier. Bier unaware of it all, but I tell you what, the young Dane, 9 points. He'll be delighted with that.
Quite rightly so, a magnificent Grand Prix for Kenneth Pierre. And every rider now has completed 4 rides, and Lindgren is the leader on 10, with Pierre on 9. New faces at the top of the leaderboard here in Prague. Pedersen, Hancock, Adams, Crump and Jonsson, big names all on 8. Sayfutdinov breathing down their neck on 7. And Valacek, Golub and Anderson just behind on 5. The race for the semi-finals is hotting up nicely.
Jason, 8 points from 4 rides. Frustrating for you so far?
Yeah, I think along with everybody else, you know, the track was slick in practice yesterday, but I think it's probably even slicker today. We made pretty much a change after every race. The first couple we made, I decided the wrong way, but I think I've got a decent, you know, there's nothing wrong with the bike now. I think I just need to go and make a couple of starts.
Well, speaking of the starts, when you look at the gate positions, gate 4 was what it was all about, but it's tailed off on gate 4, and the inside gate now, 6 wins, is looking much more favourable off gate number 1. The story of the GP so far, though, is about this man, Sayfutdinov, and he's in the next race. Welcome back to the FIM Czech Republic Speedway Grand Prix, the opening round of the 2009 series at the Markéta Stadium. And it's all boiling up nicely. We're into the final round of races for the boys to secure a semi-final place. Pressure on Tomáš Golub. And what about Fredrik Lindgren and Emil Sayfutdinov? Just look at this lineup. Golub goes off the inside in red. Lindgren is the leader. He goes off gate number 2 in blue, the young Swede. Rune Holte out of contention in gate 3. But Emil Sayfutdinov, 19 years old in his debut Grand Prix, going off the outside. The master of them all watching on, the world champion Nicky Pedersen, Chris Harris of Great Britain. But Lindgren and Sayfutdinov are the new sensations here, Kelvin.
Indeed they are, but Sayfutdinov on 7 points, leads at least a point. 2 would make sure of the semi-final place. Pressure on him.
Yeah, big ride it is. And what about that from Lindgren in blue? The rider in white, Rune Holte, has gone wide. Golub's in red. He's in second, and Sayfutdinov now coming through into third. Oh, that was a hard ride. Now Golub putting Lindgren under severe pressure here, and Sayfutdinov coming through in yellow as well. What a ride from Emil Sayfutdinov!
Fantastic stuff. He made a terrible start. Oh, he's nearly off his motorbike. He hit a hole, both feet off the foot pegs. Golub back into second place. They've watered the track. The track's slippery. He couldn't find any grip away from the outside. He's been relegated back to the 3rd place. Meanwhile, out front, Freddie Lindgren really doing sterling work out of gate 2. He's going to pick up another 3 points for sure. Golub hanging on to second place may not be enough. Sayfutdinov needs that 3rd place to make sure of a semi-final berth.
Well, they call him Fast Freddy, and this is why. He's up front and leading Tomáš Golub. Sayfutdinov is 3rd. Would that be enough to claim a place in the semi-final? He's ridden really hard in this race, the 19-year-old. But Fredrik Lindgren from Sweden is on his way through. A magnificent night so far for him. They're happy because their countryman has just pulled off a great win. Lindgren the race winner then, 3 points to take him through to the semi-finals. Tomáš Golub gets 2nd place, Sayfutdinov in 3rd, an eventful night for him. Rune Holte trailing at the back, his interest in the evening is over. But that man, Lindgren, superb.
Fabulous stuff once again from Lindgren. Really is growing in confidence with every race out there tonight. He makes a terrific start from gate 2, dominates the heat right from the get-go. Gets his front tire right down on the inside. They'd watered the track in the break. Slippery conditions, they come out for heat 17. A great scrap for 2nd place. Once again, the young Russian, all out of shape there. Just a small rut has appeared on the inside. Golub there, takes advantage, steams down the inside. It hasn't been the best of nights with Golub. I'm not sure if he's going to make it, but that man has 13 points out of 15. Great stuff.
One of the busiest riders in World Speedway, Lindgren, does all the domestic leagues around Europe. And obviously, he's race sharp going into this first GP of the series. He's top of the leaderboard. Sayfutdinov squeezes into the top 8. And now it'll just be a tense wait for the young man to see if he can confirm his place in the semi-finals in his first Grand Prix. What a dream story that would be. Greg Hancock here in the white helmet then, in heat number 18. Every race vital now. Pierre going off the inside. In the red helmet colour from Denmark, Lee Adams has had a good night so far. Gate 2 in blue. 8 points for him. Gate 3 in white is Greg Hancock. And off the outside in the yellow helmet colour is Greg Valacek. Now, all three on the inside gate in a good position to go through.
Very much so, and you've got to give credit to Greg Hancock. Came back from a disappointing start. Lee Adams is on a roll too.
Big start to the race, and Hancock hits the front. Magnificent from Greg Hancock. What a night it's turning into for the 1997 world champion. Pierre is second, level here with the immaculate Lee Adams, who goes wide. But watch out for Valacek here. He's proving to be a bit of a party pooper in this one. The lead, though, is with Greg Hancock. Second place, Lee Adams. Valacek third, and disappointment for Pierre, who's trailing well and truly at the back now.
Yeah, great start from gate 3 from Greg Hancock. Not easy to get out of gate 3 tonight, but he made it look simple. He's far down the front. Adams settling down in second place, looks pretty comfortable. Valacek in third. Disappointing for Kenneth Pierre, who had 9 points before this race. But Greg Hancock out front, he's under control at the moment.
But remember, under the GP format, every point you score contributes to your total throughout the year. And that's why Pierre's having a real go at the back to try and pass Valacek. The lead, though, is with Greg Hancock. Very assured, very comfortable, very stylish. Says he will go on riding Speedway as long as he enjoys it. As will Lee Adams, having to go up the inside. And the two old men doing us proud in Prague.
Well, which way did that go? That was an incredible finish to the race. It looked like Greg Hancock had it all under control. And on the run to the line, you know, Lee Adams may just have stolen that.
It's a tight call. A very, very tight call. A magnificent shot of the finish here.
Well,
two great riders who, as we say, are in the veteran stage of their careers, but they're still turning on the style.
Well, that was a fabulous performance from Lee Adams, you've got to say.
Well, they've enjoyed it, and Adams has got the drop. Lee Adams the winner. Greg Hancock was second. Third place went to Gregor Valacek. He had a good view of that, didn't he?
He did indeed.
And at the back was Kenneth Pierre. What a performance. Great race. Full credit to Lee Adams and Greg Hancock, who royally entertained us there. Lindgren leads the way on 13. Adams is through on 11 with Hancock on 10. Pierre on 9 points. And now we look towards Pedersen, Crump, Johnson. Some big, big names still to come. Hans Andersen watching on. He needs points in his last ride, but Andreas Jonsson did enough in heat number 19 to secure his place in the semi-finals. It was an impressive ride, got the start and rocked to victory to secure his place quite comfortably. Smooth style of AJ. Andreas Jonsson confirmed as a semi-finalist then in the first GP of the 2009 season.
Yeah, 11 points there. That's a good start to the year for Andreas Jonsson, and finishing there off gate 4 with a big win. He'll be pleased with that.
Now pressure on Hans Andersen. 5 points so far, looking to nick into the semi-final, just looking to make the breakthrough. Nicky Pedersen off the outside in yellow, so Andersen has got to beat his fellow countryman, Nicky Pedersen, the reigning world champion, of course. Harris goes off the inside. Andersen is off gate number 2 in the blue helmet colour. Mate Kush is off gate 3 in white, and Nicky Pedersen goes off the outside in the yellow helmet colour.
Yeah, and Hans Andersen, one of the pre-meeting favourites, hasn't really lived up to that billing so far tonight. He's found conditions very difficult, but the last roll of the dice, Lindgren, he's in, he can relax just for a few moments, but that man in the blue helmet colour, if he can manage to win this race, he may just squeak into the semi-final.
Big race then, heat number 20. Who will get the drop? And it's not Hans Andersen, it's Nicky Pedersen. This will not be enough for Andersen. Harris is in red. He's level with Andersen at the moment, but Andersen has got the drop into second. Nicky Pedersen, though, is the leader, and you have to fancy him to kick on here and win quite comfortably, although his fellow countryman Andersen will make him work for it.
He is indeed. He's suddenly beginning to find a little bit of speed there in second place. Hans Andersen, he knows how important a win here is. But look at Harris down the inside. Harris really lining him up, taking him by surprise. That's a big blow for the Dane, who was looking for a win here. Out front, the world champion, though, he's going to seal his semi-final spot for sure, bouncing back after that last midway through the meeting. But you've got to say, Harris in second place, super stuff.
Yeah, great ride from Chris Harris, of course. That magnificent win at Cardiff a couple of years ago still etched on his mind and every British Speedway supporter's mind, I'm sure of that. But Nicky Pedersen is kicking on here, and he's going to make an appearance in the semi-final in the first GP of the season. It's not really had it all his own way tonight. but he's pulled off a victory with Chris Harris second, and a major blow for Hans Andersen, who will have to gather his thoughts for round 2 of the World Championship in a couple of weeks' time. Nicky Pedersen, a fine win for him then. Second place went to Chris Harris. It was a hard-fought 2 points for Chris Harris. Third place, Hans Andersen, not enough for him. And trailing at the back on that occasion, Matej Kuš, the Czech Republic rider.
Well, that's more like it from the world champion. He's bounced back in great fashion. We'll see it once again. Gate 4 absolutely flies away from the tapes. He's completely clear and comes under not too much pressure at all. A fairly straightforward ride for him to seal his semi-final spot. A tough opening lap there from Hans Andersen. He squeezes Harris down the back straight, trying to dominate second place, but he just hasn't got the pace tonight. Chris Harris shows much improved form here. He bursts into second place there and then puts pressure on the world champion, but Nicky Pedersen, 11 points. He's looking to the semis now.
Certainly is. Nicky Pedersen will be a lot happier with life and a lot more confident, although he's a naturally confident rider anyway, but as we said earlier, he's not had it all his own way so far. An impressive start to the season for Fredrik Lindgren of Sweden. He goes through as leader into the semi-finals on 13. Nicky Pedersen, Lee Adams and Andreas Jonsson on 11. Hancock on 10. Bjerre and Crump on 9. And Sayfutdinov confirmed as a semi-finalist in his debut Grand Prix. All eyes on the gate positions here at the pick of the draw, though, Kelvin.
Yeah, no surprise to see Freddie Lindgren taking the inside and Crump just having to take gate 3 once again. The world champion taking the inside gate. Gate 4 also for Lee Adams, looking very favourable.
No surprise that the picks were 1 and 4 when they had the preference there. The semi-finals and the final coming up, including the new sensation, Emil Sayfutdinov. Join us for that next. Welcome back to the FIM Czech Republic Speedway Grand Prix, the opening round of the 2009 series at the Markéta Stadium in Prague. We're down to the nitty-gritty end of the meeting, the business end of the meeting, the 2 semi-finals and the final coming up. And this is the first semi-final. And nice to see some new names in the semi-final. Fredrik Lindgren goes off the inside in the red helmet colour. He's been magnificent, goes into the semi-finals as the leader. Kenneth Bjerre off gate 2 in blue. What a start to the GP series for him. Jason Crump off gate 3, and off the outside is Andreas Jonsson, 2 established GP riders on the outside 2 gate positions. Emil Sayfutdinov will be watching and waiting for his semi-final appearance on his GP debut. Lindgren, magnificent so far, the 23-year-old Swede, and what a start he's made to this, but Crump has got the drop from gate number 3 and has that lead. Fredrik Lindgren is second. Remember, it's all about the top 2 to progress through to the final. Jason Crump using all his experience and knowledge to hold the lead here, but Fredrik Lindgren, the leader, going into the semi-finals. He's under pressure now from Kenneth Bjerre in blue.
He is indeed, but what a start there from Jason Crump. Fabulous stuff out of gate 3, not the favoured start. He got the last pick, of course, for this semi-final, and he took full advantage there. Lindgren now settling well in second place, beginning to put pressure on the 2-time world champion out front. Kenneth Bjerre just there for a moment, put pressure on second place, but has dropped back. Crump out front, got to give him a lot of credit to hit the front from gate 3.
Crump has been in fine form in the Polish League, has been scoring big points week after week in the early stages of the Polish League campaign, and he has that lead now with Lindgren, who's been in great form in all his leagues. He's riding in England as well and is unbeaten in 3 home meetings for his British club, and he's on his way through to the grand final of the opening Grand Prix of the series. Crump is there, Lindgren is there, a brave effort by Bjerre, not to be though, and Jonsson at the back, and it's Crump and Lindgren who are on the way through to the final.
Fantastic stuff there from Jason Crump. He's won here before, he's in it now.
Great ride from Jason Crump. Fredrik Lindgren was second then, another 2 points to add to his 13 that he scored to qualify for the semi. Kenneth Bjerre, he ends his evening, and so does Andreas Jonsson. Both ruled out of the final by finishing 3rd and 4th, but Jason Crump will be a happy man after that.
But watch this start from gate 3. You know, not many riders have won there so far this evening, and he absolutely flies away from the tapes. He dictates it round that first corner. You You can see where the water's been put down in the interval prior to these semi-finals starting, and it's difficult to pass. Lindgren, though, a lot of composure showed here, because Kenneth Bier in the blue helmet colour really does put him under an awful lot of pressure as the race continues. Crump out front, great stuff.
Mate, I thought it was about time I did something, you know. I've been sitting around moping around all night, and I thought I'd better go and make a start, and it's unbelievable the difference when you get in front, so just pretty happy with that one.
Did you make a lot of changes before the semi-final?
Mate, I couldn't have made any more changes than what I've done through the night, and believe it or not, I went back to what I had in the first race, and it worked heaps better.
Well, the crowd enjoying themselves in the Marquetta Stadium, and there was drama in the first staging of the second semi-final, a coming together of Nicky Pedersen and the hotshot Emil Seifutinov. That was tight, very, very tight, and it was uncompromising as well, and the referee had a decision to make, all four back.
Yeah, I think it was the right decision to make. Just ran out of room there, the young Russian. Nicky Pedersen didn't do too much wrong. Pedersen just had the advantage, and Seifutinov was tight to him. They've gone down in a heap, but plenty of pressure here for the youngster. First semi-final in the Grand Prix, of course. He bites the dust, and he's got to just gather his thoughts, get his composure back for the restaging of the second semi-final.
Not the ideal preparation for the second semi-final then for Emil Seifutinov, or indeed Nicky Pedersen, watched by his manager there. And here is the lineup for the second staging of the race. Nicky Pedersen goes off the inside in the red helmet colour. Emil Seifutinov goes off gate 2 in blue. Greg Hancock goes off gate 3 in white. And Lee Adams is off the outside in the yellow helmet colour. All the attention, no doubt, will be on the inside 2 gate positions with Pedersen, with Seifutinov, after they're coming together a few moments ago.
Very much so, but you mustn't ignore the outside gates as well, because Lee Adams and Hancock have been in good form.
They have indeed, but Pedersen has made a good start here. Seifutinov ducks up the inside. Oh, look at the 19-year-old. What a ride from Seifutinov. Lee Adams going up in the inside into second place, and Nicky Pedersen is staring the exit door in the face. Can Pedersen make the final in the first Grand Prix of the year? But the story is Seifutinov.
Seifutinov made a brilliant first corner there. Nicky Pedersen went searching for Lee Adams, left the door wide open, and the young Russian dived up, then slammed the door shut down the back straight, and he's fired himself to the front. Adams now settles in second place. Nicky Pedersen looks like he's going out.
Yeah, Nicky Pedersen drifting in third place right now, and Greg Hancock trailing at the back, but Emil Seifutinov in his Grand Prix debut from Russia, 19 years of age, with a great pit crew behind him, and has been carving up riders like this in the Polish league quite regularly, so many experts will say it's not a surprise, but you could not have scripted this for sure. Nearly lost it there, but it's a dream debut, and Seifutinov has reached the final of the FIM Czech Republic Grand Prix. A tap of the heart, a tap of the handlebars, and what a night it is for Emil Seifutinov. He's through to the final. You couldn't have scripted that. Lee Adams was second, third place then, and going out, Nicky Pedersen, the reigning champion. A point for him, and Greg Hancock trailing at the back. Wow, what a race and what a ride from young Emil Seifutinov.
Fabulous stuff from the young Russian. We'll see it once again. He's already bit the dust here. He doesn't make a very good start, but Nicky Pedersen makes a fundamental mistake there. He tries to block the run of Lee Adams around the outside and forgets about the young Russian, who says thank you very much and fires up the inside and then slams the door shut going down the back straight to stop the run from Lee Adams. Pedersen will be disappointed here, because without question he should have ridden around the inside to protect that, and he would have fired himself to the front, but instead it's the sensation of the night. Seifutinov out front into the final.
From Russia, with not a lot of love for his rivals, including that man, Nicky Pedersen. And the draw for the final, Seifutinov getting the inside gate.
No surprise there. That is a surprise from Jason Crump taking gate 3, though. I think he's going to be under pressure for the final.
Well, what a performance from Emil Seifutinov. He goes in red, Adams in blue, Crump in white, and Lindgren will go off the outside.
Tough night, not what you were looking for the first one?
No, not really. Everybody's here to reach the final. Obviously, I felt good all night. I made one mistake all night and came last in one of my races. I had a good pick in the semi-final, but I wasn't quite sure if I should take gate 1 or gate 4. I should probably took gate 4, but that's racing sometimes. I made a very good start up 1, but I pushed out Lee a little bit, and then I wanted to come back again, and Emil was there. So I ended up in second turn in no man's land, but fair and square to the boys. I tried my best.
You're going to leave the first round with 12 points in the bag. I mean, it's not the start you really wanted, but, you know, there's a long season ahead and you're going to be very competitive.
Absolutely. I mean, it's this night tonight, you know, a lot of the guys has been surprising, you know, which is good. Instead of it's just two-man's game. So, no, it's very good. I enjoyed it tonight, you know, but it would have been nice to get into the final.
Two young guns in the first final of the 2009 Grand Prix season. And what a lineup it is. Sayfutdinov going off the inside in the red helmet. Lee Adams goes off gate number 2 in blue. Gate 3 is Jason Crump in white. And Fredrik Lindgren, another of the young guns, goes off the outside in yellow. And remember, points count for double here.
Yeah, Lindgren on 15 points leading the way. But that man on the inside, can he hold it together? What a night of Speedway he's encountered. The world champion would love to be out there, but he's got to watch on now. Sayfutdinov on the inside, Lindgren on the outside.
Bit of a jump from Jason Crump at the start there. Might prove costly for him. Sayfutdinov is the rider in red. He's got the early lead. Lindgren coming through as well in the yellow helmet. But the Russian Sayfutdinov has got the lead. His night is turning into a fairy tale here in the beautiful city of Prague. Sayfutdinov has the lead. Lindgren is second. Jason Crump third. Lee Adams at the back. But is Sayfutdinov on the verge of one of the most famous Grand Prix wins since the series started back in the mid-90s?
Fabulous stuff from the young Russian. Brilliant opening lap, showing great composure out front. Pulling away now, the bike working beautifully. Lindgren there settled in second place. Jason Crump really carved up Lee Adams on the opening lap to force his way into third place. But Sayfutdinov, it's all about the young Russian pulling a wheelie. 1 lap to go.
And he's pulling well clear. He's got the race under control. Sayfutdinov, look at that for a style. Winding it on down the back straight. Crump is third. Adams is at the back. What this would mean is that with Fredrik Lindgren in yellow would finish top scorer on the night. But it's Sayfutdinov's night. He takes the victory. He's won the Grand Prix. And when we all arrived here earlier on this afternoon, you would not have thought in your wildest dreams that Emil Sayfutdinov would walk away winner. Congratulations from Jason Crump. And Sayfutdinov punches the air with delight, and quite rightly so.
But watch this first corner from Sayfutdinov. It's a decent start. He just drifts off the line there for a moment. He's vulnerable to Lindgren, but he winds it on down the back straight, kisses off the dirt against the safety fence, and fires himself to the front. Lee Adams makes a good start, but he runs far too wide in the opening corner, and that leaves himself vulnerable to the other three. But Sayfutdinov, what a performance. Absolutely out of the top drawer. You've got to say that that was absolutely sensational.
Well, what a night. Congratulations from Lee Adams. Sayfutdinov the winner of the opening Grand Prix.
Mate, I took gate 3. I thought it was going to work after the semi, but made a novice's start there and didn't really probably deserve any points, but you know, kind of came back strong. Didn't do that well in the first half of the meeting. Got it together a bit better in the second half. So not a bad way to start. You know, make the final and get a few points. So a few more would have been nice.
Freddie, another final, another second place.
Yeah, I was really pleased with this opening round, and I'm feeling good. I was making a really good start, and I was consistent all evening. So I'm really pleased with all the points, and to get into the final and second place is almost the best.
Emil, you must look at it and think Grand Prix are easy.
I don't know, very happy tonight. I'm not believe it's really. I would like to say thanks to everybody. Thank you very much. It's my fans, it's my family, it's my girlfriend, everything. I'm happy.
An emotional night for Emil Sayfutdinov. What a story it is. Fredrik Lindgren, though, is the World Championship leader on 19 points. Even though Sayfutdinov won the final and effectively won the Grand Prix then, Lindgren is the World Championship leader after the opening round on 19. Sayfutdinov on 17. And lower down the order, some big names there. Thomas Gollop and Hans Andersen on 7 and 6 points respectively. A long way to go, though. Round 1 is done and dusted. 10 more rounds to come in the 2009 FIM World Speedway Championship.